Deck the halls and walls and doors and everything else. Coming right up on Weekend at the Cottage. Welcome to Weekend at the Cottage. I'm Nick Manojlevich today with a stunning do-it-yourself decor project perfect for the holidays, the winter season. I'm going to show you how to make a do-it-yourself pine cone wreath. One thing I better clarify before I get started, you do not need a glue gun for this project. You will need a couple of other things though. You're gonna need a wire wreath form, some scissors, some florist wire, wire snips, chenille pipe cleaners, and pine cones. This all sounds pretty easy, right? Well, let me show you just how easy this is. Before I start a project like this, I always like to protect my work surface, so I've placed out a big piece of canvas on top of the dining table here in the sunroom. Next thing, it's all about the pine cones. I went outside and gathered a bunch, but if you don't have a pine tree in your midst, you can find pine cones online or at a garden center or craft store. Whenever I'm collecting pine cones, I like to bring them outside in and place them into a warm location for a couple of days. This will help all of that little pine sap flake off the bottom, and also the pine cones kind of open a bit when they're in warmth. Once you have your pine cones collected, next thing we need to do is to graduate them by size: small, medium, and large. So then I place them into 3 different piles on the table. Once we've divided our pine cones up by size, next thing to do is to prep them and get them ready to attach to the wreath. As I mentioned, we're not using a glue gun. Instead, we're going to be attaching them with chenille pipe cleaners. They're sold in a 12-inch length. I'm taking a wire snip and we're just going to divide these into 2. So now you have a 6-inch length of the pipe cleaner. You can run this through the bottom few petals under the pine cone and then give them a twist, and this is ready to be attached to the wreath form. Now you can take a seat, attach your pipe cleaner to the bottom of your pine cones, and now I toss them into 3 different bowls. Again, small, medium, and large. Pine cones are ready to go. Now it's time to attach them to our wire wreath form. And you can use an 18-inch form, a 14-inch form. They also sell these in a 12-inch size. We're going to be taking our pine cones, lay your wreath form flat on your work surface. Taking a pine cone, we're going to put the pipe cleaner underneath, and then you twist them nice and tight and attach it to that outer rung of the wreath form. We're gonna do our large pine cones first. Every time you add a pine cone, or every time you attach it to the outer ring of the wreath, kind of pull it close to the previous pine cone. This keeps things nice and tight as you complete that first circle. I also like to push down the ends of the pipe cleaner every time I attach a pine cone. As we go to the second rung, we're now taking the medium-sized pine cones. Again, we're attaching them, push down the ends of the pipe cleaner, go to the next pine cone. Just make sure you keep pulling those pine cones nice and close every time you add another pine cone. Third rung of the wire wreath, we're still using our medium-sized pine cones, but now you're going to start to see the pine cones are kind of standing up a little bit. And I love this project because we're always working from above. So you'll be able to see kind of how this wreath is coming together. It's really a lovely project to work on. When we get to our final rung of the wreath, it's the smallest pine cones we're using, and these little guys and girls just tend to stand up perfectly straight, and you're going to be able to add them in a nice tight fashion on the inside of your wreath. Last thing we're going to do, carefully, don't worry, it's pretty stable, but we're carefully going to invert our wreath onto the work surface, and now it's a little bit of cleanup, where we're going to take the ends of the pipe cleaners, tighten them up nicely, push them down so they're sitting nice and flat on the inside of the wreath form. I also like to take snips and just trim away any of the ends of the pine cones. Makes for a very clean finish. Last thing we need to do is to create a hanger. I'm taking a little bit of florist wire. I'm going to create a little loop, attach it to the back of the wreath form, and you're done. Yes, you can add a little bit of ribbon to this wreath, but I don't think it needs it. I think it's stunning just as it is. Yes, you can place this indoors, on a wall, on a mirror, above a fireplace. Up here in cottage country though, I love placing this outdoors. Next to the front door, it sure is a stunning, gorgeous welcome when people come by to visit the cottage. It is all about the color. It is all about the pine cones. It is all about the finished look of this very beautiful and festive pine cone wreath. Now, if you think this looks good, wait till you see all of the other things we have on offer at Weekend at the Cottage. Please head to weekendatthecottage.com. When you're visiting, please subscribe to our website. Look for us on our dedicated YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it as well. And then finally, when you make this beautiful wreath, why not take a picture of it and post it on your favorite social media platforms like Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. Okay, what are you waiting for? You are ready to make this DIY pine cone wreath. I'm Nick Manojlovic. Until next time, we'll see you again. Beautiful.